Hi there. Happy Monday. I'm Dr. Shiroko Sokitch, owner of Heart to Heart Medical Center and the author of the book, Healing When It Seems Impossible: 7 Keys to Defy the Odds. And today I'm going to talk about winter and how to boost your immune system for the winter and actually for basically any time of year. But this time of year, which is fall, is the time of year that your lungs are most prevalent. In Chinese medicine, the lungs regulate the entire respiratory system, starting with your nose, your throat, your physical lungs, your skin, and your large intestine. So they are the outermost layer of your energy. And their job in Chinese medicine is to protect you from things that come in from outside, i.e., anything that's like a bacteria or a virus or a cold or things like that. But also in Chinese medicine, when it was first invented, of course, we didn't know about viruses and bacteria and things like that. So we talked about the weather, like cold weather, wind, dampness, things like that. And so when you protect yourself from things that come in from outside, it's really basically protecting you from the weather. Um, you know, I you may see a lot of us acupuncture type people walking around in winter wearing scarves. I remember I used to work with a guy who wore a scarf. He was always hot, so he wore shorts and a short sleeved shirt, even in the middle of winter, but he always had a scarf around his neck. And that's because right here under your ear is the place where wind enters. And one of the things that people can experience is that on a cold, windy day, they could get sick or get a cold. And so that's one of those things, maybe it's a myth in Western medicine, but it's actually a thing that is connected to taking care of your immune system. So over the years, I've talked a lot about different ways of taking care of your immune system because, again, in Chinese medicine, it's very important to have your healthy immune system intact. And in general, viruses and bacteria and things that could be infections are all around us all the time. And so there are certain things that we can do to help keep our immune system from letting those things into our body. So that's why we want a strong and healthy immune system to help you protect yourself. If you're one of those people who tends to get sick a lot or gets a cold, whenever one of your kids goes to school or something like that, this is for you. This is the information that you want and need. So first of all, of course, it's a good idea to kind of minimize the amount of stress, because whenever you're overly stressed is when your immune system starts to let down. So if you are overly stressed, start taking precautions and measures to protect yourself from getting sick. And I'm going to give you a little list of those things in just a second. And the second thing is, if you have kids that are out in school and coming home with every little bug, you want to, again, make sure that your immune system is strong enough to withstand that sort of an onslaught of ongoing, kids are little germ factories of things coming into your body. And third, you want to, during the holidays and in that way, sort of prevent, again, yourself from getting overwhelmed with things so that you can keep your immune system healthy. So first of all, my winter protocol. There are 3 basic sort of mushroom or supplements that I recommend in terms of taking care of your immune system sort of at a baseline. So one is making sure you get enough vitamin D and omegas. Vitamin D and omegas are sort of a baseline that helps your immune system, your nervous system, and your hormones stay balanced. Vitamin D, you have to be careful with how much you take because it's a fat-soluble vitamin, and so it's a good idea to measure your vitamin D level before you start taking vitamin D. Make sure that you don't get too high. The range that I recommend in terms of vitamin D levels, because a lot of people get them tested, and the range they'll say that their level is 30. Well, 30 is at the very bottom of normal. and you want your vitamin D level to be like closer to 50, so that you're 50, between 50 and 60, so that it's not too high, but also not too low in order to not be able to do its job. And again, vitamin D helps your immune system, your nervous system, and your hormones. So it's a supplement that has sort of a triangle of benefits. The other thing is medicinal mushrooms, and I love a company called Host Defense. It's created by Paul Stamets, who is the guy who created that movie Fungi, Fantastic Fungi, and he raises his mushrooms, in a hermetically sealed lab where they're not exposed to pollutants or chemicals, and they're all organic. And he has a formula called Host Defense, and that has 16 different medicinal mushrooms. And many of my patients have been using this supplement for years, and it's really good for protecting you from getting sick. But also, if you're about to get sick, it can keep you from getting more sick. So it's a very useful supplement. If you look for medicinal mushrooms and that is not an option for you, you want to use organically grown, medicinal mushrooms that are tuned to your immune system. So if you want to use another brand or a different type, that's what you want to look for, is one that is tuned to your immune system. The third supplement that I recommend is something that has in it sort of the following things: N-acetylcysteine, quercetin, and vitamin C and zinc. So that combination is very useful for protecting you from viruses. It actually will help you recover from viral infections as well. Back when COVID was a big deal, when a lot of people were getting sick from it, there was a lot of functional medicine research done, and NAC, quercetin, zinc, and vitamin C were all researched and shown to be beneficial in terms of protecting you and helping you not get into the long COVID and things like that. I use a particular supplement, but I don't want to be pushing a particular supplement for you. So, but if you have a question about that, you can contact me and I'll tell you the name of that supplement that has all of those active ingredients in it. Now, if you are traveling or exposed to somebody who is sick, you want to up your game. So the first thing you want to do is, if you're exposed to someone that's sick, or you're traveling, like on an airplane or a place where you get exposed to a lot of different people, you want to kind of up your game a few days before you go. So I personally use a liposomal supplement that has vitamin D, C, A, E, K, and elderberry, and I take, it comes in shots, and I take that before I travel, a couple days before I travel, and then on the day of travel, in addition to my quercetin supplement that has the NAC and the zinc and all that in one thing. So I take those two things together on the day of travel and the day after possibly. And if I'm exposed to somebody who's sick, or I'm in danger, like if I'm feeling super stressed or something, I will also take those supplements, to kind of just boost my immune system in face of a challenge. I also take certain supplements like vitamin C, NAC, quercetin, and the medicinal mushrooms. I take them every day at a low dose all winter long in order to sort of support my immune system throughout the winter. So I have two layers of support. One is ongoing, everyday sort of low grade dosing to keep your immune system strong. And then on the day of, if you get exposed to something, you take an extra boost of things. Now, some people talk about echinacea and golden seal and wellness formula and all these different products. Whatever supplement regime works for you, that has worked for you in the past, when and if you get exposed to being sick, you want to just make sure that you up your dose enough to make sure that it fights it off. So let's say you start to have a sore throat and you're feeling like you want to fight it off. You just take one dose of echinacea or vitamin C. It's not going to be enough. You need to take it several times in the course of that day in order to sort of push it out of your body right away. Another thing that I like to do is to gargle with either salt water or hydrogen peroxide. I use a hydrogen peroxide mouthwash. And if you feel like a scratchy throat or something coming on, you can do this gargle where you gargle it into your throat, and you want to keep it back here where the virus is trying to get in, and you want to do that for a minute. So one way to do that would be to and then take a break and just keep doing back and forth for a whole minute, and then do that again every in a short range of time, like every 20 minutes or so, 3 times. And that will also, like if you do that right away when you're starting to fight something, you will possibly be able to push it out of your body. Another thing you could do if you get exposed to something is to take a really high dose of vitamin D. Some people say up to 50,000 IUs. I have these little shots that are 20,000 IUs of vitamin D with 2,000 of vitamin C and zinc. And you want to take those things all together right away again if you're fighting something at a high dose, because that will protect you from getting sick or keep it from moving forward in your body. So I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions at all, please post them in the comments. I will come and check on that again. And I hope you have a very amazing, happy, healthy fall and winter season. I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.